Hey, in today's video, I want to give you 6 reasons why this Paul McCartney bass line, Letting Go, is genius. I'll see you inside the video. Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and like many bass players here in the UK, I've been glued to watching the TV over the past few days, checking out Paul McCartney's live set from Glastonbury, and it's reminded me why he's such an extraordinary musician. Now there's one song in particular, Letting Go, which is from the 1975 Wings album Venus to Mars, which really made my ears pricked up. So I'm going to give you 6 reasons today why this bass line is genius, and also teach you the bass line too. So we're going to focus on the final 14 bars of the song today, and this is what they sound like. So we're going to be focusing on these final 14 bars today. Now on YouTube, there are no clips of the Glastonbury set up yet, but I found this awesome clip from Grand Central Station in New York where the band is just absolutely killing it. So I've transcribed that note for note. Also, just before we start taking this apart, I want you to know there's a completely free PDF that comes with this lesson, so you can see all of this incredible bass line written out note for note in standard notation and tablature. There is a link in the description below where you can grab your copy. So reason number 1 why this bass line is genius. So after the breakdown section towards the end of the song, Paul McCartney just comes in with this beautiful and simple fill. Now this chord sequence that they're playing over is essentially 2 bars of F minor and 2 bars of C minor. So he places the fill over the beginning of the C minor chord. It's a 2-bar fill. So the first bar sounds like this. So take that apart slowly. It starts on an open G, and then we go C, B flat, G, F, E flat, 2 Cs, and then down to the B flat. So that is all simple, straightforward minor pentatonic stuff, so nothing complex in there. Now on to the second reason this fill is genius. What McCartney then does is he integrates the brass hook, which is going on into the song, into the bass line as well, which then gives it this beautiful melodic quality. So I'm going to add the second bar in, so it sounds like this: 3, 4. There you go. So in that second bar, the notes he adds in are this. That beautiful melodic thing. And so what he's playing there is a C, an open D, a C, a B flat, a C, E flat, F, like so. So let me put the whole thing together. 3, 4. So let's move on to reason number 3. Now this is the point where the groove comes back in. And if you're to learn anything, make sure you learn these 4 bars from the lesson, because this is where you hear McCartney fusing a classic rock riff, which I'm sure you may have heard or even played before, and this beautiful melodic idea, which you hear the rest of the band playing too. So this is what it sounds like. 3, 4. So that is the 4 bars, and you can hear that bass line working over the F minor chord and then being moved down over the C minor. So the first bar is this, which is simply 2 Fs down to a C and then an E flat. So, and then he repeats it again. Then he goes into the melodic part of the bass line, and you have this. Like that. So it sounds like this. Now the notes there are simply an F, a G, an F, an E flat, a G, and then what I recommend you do, and I can really hear McCartney doing this well, is slide into the G, fretted like that, and then go back to the C, like that. Put those 2 bars together, you end up with this. And then you go into the C minor, and that is largely the same. Now, reason number 4 that I want to draw your ear to is there are lots of subtleties in here, and like any great pop and rock music, it's all highly thought out. And the thing that I really want to draw your attention to is these very deliberate approach notes on the last 8th note of the 2nd and the 4th bar. And what McCartney is doing is he's anticipating the first beat of the bar using a root note. So you end up with this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when he goes to the F chord, you end up with this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And so what that was just at the end of the 4th bar of that section there. So listen out for those approach notes, because they're subtle, but they really do make a difference. And I think it's notable that they're the root note of the next chord coming up. So let me play the whole of those 4 bars with the drum machine now. I'll loop them round so you can really hear that groove in action. Guys, we're halfway through now, and I'd love to ask you if you're enjoying this lesson. First of all, grab the download which comes with it. There's a link in the description below. But secondly, subscribe to the eBassGuitar YouTube lesson, because we release a lesson every single week designed for beginner to intermediate bass players who want to take their bass playing to that advanced level. There is a red subscribe button somewhere around this video. So let's move on to reason number 5 why this is genius. McCartney is a master of crafting and building bass lines. And what happens at this point is he starts to ramp up the intensity. So moving on to bar 7 here, what he starts doing is adding in a load more root notes, which adds weight to the bass line and more excitement. So let me talk you through. So on the F minor chord, he plays this classic rock riff that you've heard before. The melodic fragment. And then on the end, he adds 2 fill notes, which I really love, the B flat and the C. So you get this. Then he adds this beautiful line over the C minor, which is... And what that is a 2-beat phrase which starts off with a high C and then down to 3 low Cs. And you can put this lovely little slide in at the beginning. Like so. So check that out. So reason number 6 is the ending of this song. So you'll note that we're working over 2 chords here. An F minor chord to a C minor chord. Like that. So naturally you would expect it to end on the F minor chord like that. But what McCartney does here, which is more of a compositional thing than a bass line, he chooses to play a major chord at the end of that. If you want a bit of a laugh, the technical classical term when you're in a minor key and you end up on a major chord is called a tierce de Picardy. We always laugh about that in bands, so I'll throw that in now. So what McCartney does on the last 2 bars is simply this. Very straightforward, so 4 Cs. And then an offbeat E flat, and then an offbeat F. Then you would expect this note here, F minor there, but what you hear is actually this. So check that out. So don't forget to grab the download which comes with the lesson. I've now covered all of the 14 bars in the outro. Make sure you check out the original track from Grand Central Station 2 because it's absolute fantastic vibe, and I absolutely love Paul McCartney's brass section that he's been using for the past few years. So to wrap up this lesson, I'm going to play all of those 14 bars from beginning to end. Guys, that's the end of today's bass guitar lesson. Don't forget, if you want to push your bass guitar playing on to that next stage, make sure you jump over to eBassGuitar.com, check out the Bass Lab Plus. There's a full step-by-step program there for beginner to intermediate bass guitar players who want to push their bass guitar playing to that advanced level. But guys, I'd love to ask you a quick question. What's your most favorite Paul McCartney bass line? Please let me know in the comments below, because I definitely think this one is now my favorite. Right now, I want to leave you with another video right up there of 5 legendary Paul McCartney bass riffs. Check it out.